Hello everyone. So the next topic which we will be discussing is about the ovary. Now ovary, it is the part of the female reproductive system. So the female reproductive system is framed to perform different functions. It creates egg cells that are essential for the reproduction known as ova. The system is organized to deliver the ova to the region of fertilization. So the egg fertilization takes place in the fallopian tubes along with the sperms. So here it is a diagrammatic representation of the female reproductive system, which is showing different parts of the female reproductive system. For example, there is a uterine fundus, then the fallopian tube, there are ovaries, then the cervical canal, cervix, then vagina, uterus, fimbriae, and the ovarian ligaments. Now, we will be discussing some of the important functions of these parts. Now, first, the female reproductive system is composed of a pair of ovaries, along with the oviducts, vagina, cervix, uterus, and the external genitalia that are located in the pelvic region. Now, if I am going to discuss some of the main important parts other than the ovary, because ovary, it is the main part of the discussion. So I will not be discussing ovary here. I will be discussing about the other parts. For example, I will be discussing about the uterus. So uterus, which is also called the womb. It is a muscular, inverted, pear-shaped organ of the female reproductive system. So the walls of the uterus consist of three layers: the inner glandular layer, the middle thick layer, and the outer thin layer. So these three layers are maintained by the ligaments, which are attached by the pelvic wall, which then opens into the vagina from a narrow cervix. So this was about the uterus. Next I will be discussing is the fallopian tube. So they are a pair of muscular tubes and funnel-shaped structures which extend from the right to the left of the superior corners of the uterus to the edge of the ovaries. Now these tubes, they are enclosed in small projections which are called as the fimbriae that swipe. So these are the small projections that swipe over the ovaries to pick up released ova and deliver to the infundibulum for supplying the uterus. So each fallopian tube is covered by cilia that functions by carrying the ovum to the uterus. So this was about the fallopian tube. Then vagina, which is a muscular elastic tube that connects the cervix to the external body. It delivers sperms to the fallopian tube and the uterus. So these were some of the main important parts of the female reproductive system. Now our main focus here will be the ovaries. So let's discuss the ovaries. So ovaries, they form the part of the female reproductive system. Each woman has two ovaries. So as depicted in the diagram as well. So there were two ovaries that were there. So every woman contains two ovaries. They are oval in shape, about 4 centimeters long, and lie on either side of the womb against the wall of the pelvis in a region which is known as the ovarian fossa. So they are held in place by ligaments which is attached to the womb, but they are not directly attached to the rest of the female reproductive system, a tract called the fallopian tubes. Now, what are the functions of the ovaries? So, ovaries, they have two main reproductive functions in the body. First of all, they produce the oocytes, that is the eggs for the fertilization, and they produce the reproductive hormones, that is the estrogen and the progesterone. Now the function of the ovary is being controlled by the gonadotropin releasing hormone, which is released from the nerve cell in the hypothalamus and that sends their messages into the puberty gland to produce the luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. So they are carried in the bloodstream to control the menstrual cycle. So these hormones, they are what they do, they are carried in the bloodstream to control the menstrual cycle. Now the ovaries, they release an egg at the midway point of each menstrual cycle. Usually only a single oocyte from one ovary is released during each menstrual cycle, with each ovary taking an alternate turn in releasing an egg. So a female egg is born with all the eggs that she will ever have. So this is estimated to be around 2 million, but by the time a girl reaches puberty, this number decreases to 4 lakh eggs stored in her ovaries. So from puberty to the menopause, only about 400 to 500 eggs will reach maturity, be released from the ovary, and are capable of being fertilized in the fallopian tube, uterine tube, or oviduct of the female reproductive system. So in the ovary, all the eggs, they are initially enclosed in a single layer of cells which are known as the follicles, so which supports the egg. So over the time, these eggs begins to mature so that one is released from the ovary in each menstrual cycle. So as the egg mature, the cells in the follicle rapidly divide and the follicle become progressively larger. So many follicles lose the ability to function during this process and can take several months, but one dominates in each menstrual cycle and the egg it contains is released at the ovulation. Now the hormones that was being produced by the ovaries. Now what are the functions of these hormones? So the major hormones that are produced by the ovaries are the estrogen and the progesterone. So both are important in terms of what? In terms of the menstrual cycle. They play a major role in the menstrual cycle. So estrogen production dominates in the first half of the menstrual cycle before ovulation, and progesterone production dominates during the second half of the menstrual cycle when the corpus luteum has been formed. So corpus luteum is being formed in the menstrual cycle. So that is where the role of the estrogen and progesterone, both the roles have been have been clearly mentioned as the role in the menstrual cycle. So both the hormones are important in preparing the lining of the womb for pregnancy and the implantation of the fertilized egg or the embryo. So, if the conception occurs during any one menstrual cycle, then corpus luteum does not lose its ability to function and it will continue to secrete estrogen and progesterone, allowing the embryo to implant in the lining of the womb and form a placenta. So, at this point, development of the fetus begins. So, at this point, the development of the fetus begins. Now, what are the medical conditions that can relate to the ovaries functioning, the ovaries do not proper functioning? So what can be the medical condition? So any medical condition that stops the ovaries functioning properly can decrease a woman's fertility. So these are some of the medical conditions. Now first is about the premature ovarian failure. So in this particular condition, the ovaries, they naturally stop functioning at the time of the menopause. So this condition occurs mainly in the women which are at age of 50, and if this happens earlier before the age of 40, then this is known as premature ovarian failure, because it usually occurs at age of 50, but it is occurring before that, means it is occurring at the age of 40. So that is why this is known as the premature ovarian failure. So here is a diagrammatic representation also, that in a normal ovary, the normal ovary will produce the ovum. But in case of premature failure, the there will be no ovum which is being produced. So this is the premature failure. Next condition is polycystic ovarian syndrome. So this is also known as PCOS or PCOD. So it basically affects 5 to 10% of the women of a reproductive age. So in a polycystic ovary, the follicles, they mature to a certain stage but then stop growing and fail to release the egg. So these follicles, they appear as cysts in the ovaries on an ultrasound scan. So whenever there is an ultrasound scan, these follicles will appear as cysts on the ovaries. So any abnormality that causes a loss of normal development of the ovaries, such as Turner syndrome, can result in the ovaries not functioning correctly and the loss of the woman's fertility. So the ovaries can be damaged by treatment or other conditions as well, particularly chemotherapy or radiotherapy or for the cancer. So the next I will talk about is the immunodeho. So in this particular condition, if a woman stops having menstrual periods during her reproductive age, this is the condition. So in these particular cases, fertility can be restored by reducing the intensity of the exercise, weight gain, and psychological interventions such as cognitive behavioral therapy. Disorders of the puberty gland can affect the normal ovarian function because of the lack of hormones normally released from the puberty gland, and that could reduce the simulation of the hormones. So this is what is about the condition. So next I will be discussing is the what are the major symptoms of the polycystic ovarian syndrome. Now these are some of the symptoms of the PCOS. For example, the woman having PCOS can have the trouble conceiving. So there may be problems in the pregnancy. There can be mood swings. There can be acne on the face or on the back. There can be fatigue. Then insulin resistance. There is a high testosterone level which is found in the males but it is high in the females. There is a male pattern baldness, thinning hairs. There is a irregular or missed periods. There is a low sex drive. Then ovarian cysts are being formed. And there are weight changes and trouble losing weight. And there is an excessive body hair growth. So these are some of the major symptoms of the PCOS. So these are some of the references and this was all about the ovary.